Brilliant title reads Getting Past My Girlfriend's Promiscuous Past. I, a 27-year-old male, is in a monogamous relationship with a girl who's 28 that I was friends with in high school. We both went away to college, didn't really talk much for like 8 to 9 years, and then one day she came over and we hooked up. After a couple of months of that, we decided to make it official. So, look, if you are going to be dating a girl at 28, the likelihood is she's been sexually active for 10 years. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt and says she slept with two guys a year. 2 times 10 is 20. And already for some guys, that's going to be too much, and that's going to be classed as a promiscuous past. So you are going to get women who have a promiscuous past if you're dating women towards the later end of their 20s. So if you don't want to go with a promiscuous past, you probably have to date a bit younger. To be honest, it's just maths, isn't it? Really, if a girl's 28, now if she's had relationships in the past that have lasted a bit longer, then maybe her number will be lower. And I guess it all comes down to preferences at that point. You know, how much amount of dicks is too much in in your point of view. And she went away to college as well, and you know what girls get up to in college. They let their hair down because they're away from mummy and daddy. Again, nothing wrong with that. Guys do the same, but it's just something to be aware of. So he says here that they hooked up and they've been doing that for a couple of months before they made it official. So I'm guessing they were just friends with benefit buddies. Again, maybe a bit of a red flag because if she had the idea of wanting to be in a relationship with him, maybe she would have tied him down a bit sooner instead of just playing the field. But let's see if he adds any more information here to that point. So, from talking to her, I determined that she was far from innocent. A cheerleader in college, loved to party, went to large state school, and lived in the city for a few years. And after a couple of months, my curiosity got the best of me. Yeah, I think those are all flags to show that she probably has a promiscuous past. So at least he's aware of it, and he's obviously considering if she's someone he wants long term. And his curiosity got the best of him, which I think it's good to ask these questions because obviously it affects this girl's promiscuity and her past. So it's better to ask these questions now to see if he's wants to be with her long term. It's not great if you're with her for 2 or 3 years and then you finally ask her and it shocks you and now you're stuck because you're emotionally bonded to her and it's more difficult to leave. Because it's not fair on her either because, you know, you're judging her for something and you're possibly going to leave her and she's going to be blindsided. So it's good to ask these questions early on. I asked a forbidden question: how many people have you slept with? Yes, it's one of those questions I think guys want to ask, but at the same time they're worried about the answer, so they bury their head in the sand and never ask their girlfriend. So they go throughout their relationship and maybe get married, just not wanting to think about it because they know if they do find the answer disgusting, then they might be turned off by that girl. So they kind of just don't want to think about it, which is completely understandable. But this guy's asked early on, which I think is a good idea because obviously it's a boundary of his. Nothing wrong with boundaries. I was expecting 20, maybe 30. Yeah, like I said, 2 a year. That's a low ball, isn't it? I think if a woman's going out to parties and clubbing, she's probably sleeping with at least a guy a month, especially if she's on the dating apps as well. So the number it probably is higher than 20. The average is probably higher than 20. But she replied with, I think I'm over 50 now. Yeah, that number's just, I think it's crazy to us men because unless you're an absolute Chad and you look like Zac Efron, you're never going to reach 50. I don't think so anyway. I don't think many men want to. I think a lot of men want to settle down with a nice girl and build a family with. I think that's what internally we want. But 50 kind of gives the impression that she never was a relationship type and she just likes the attention from men and just likes that physical intimacy. Again, nothing wrong with that, but do you want to be in a long term relationship with a girl who's slept with over 50 guys? Because she's putting her body and her safety at risk. You know, she's just trusting that all 50 of these guys are going to be good guys and not going to do anything bad to her. So she has a lot of trust in men, at least. She also mentioned she's been in a foursome. Basically, they just swap partners. She says she never really kept count like that and that she had way too much fun in college. At least she's admitting to enjoying it and not saying, oh, I regret it. And because you hear that a lot. At least she's like owning up, hey, I enjoy sex. We're all adults here. It was, we all agreed to it. Happy days. I've only been that intimate with 10 people, so this blows me out the water. It's going to blow you out the water. You know, guys, if you're dating a girl, she's going to have slept with more people than you. She might say she hasn't, she might change the truth, but she slept with more people. And for all we know, this girl's lowballing it. Maybe she's slept with more than 50. She's lost count. She guessed. Now, the foursome thing for me, if a girl's had a threesome or foursome, that just puts her out the running for me. I can't be with a girl who's had a threesome or foursome. Again, that's just preference. Doesn't make her a bad person. It's just personal preference. That's just, yeah, that's icky in my opinion. That's probably more icky than sleeping with 20 guys. Both a bit icky. I love who she is now, and I know she wouldn't be who she is without her past. But sometime later, I'm still bothered to think about all of the people who have been that intimate with her. Yeah, it's going to eat away at you. It's going to eat away at every man. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are or how understanding you are, just internally. It's not going to be nice because you care about this girl and you want to see a future with her, but every time you see a future with her, you think about her past and all the multiple men who's had her way with her. It's not a nice feeling. Again, I want to make it clear, doesn't make her a bad person, doesn't mean, you should just throw her to the curb. But as a guy, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable, and that's completely valid. And if it's one of your boundaries, then you need to leave her respectfully and find someone who more fits within your boundaries and what you're looking for and the values that girl should have. I'm a really progressive guy. I've hooked up with some people, had some friends with benefits, and had some serious relationships. I don't think I've ever had a true one night stand. Friends that I've talked to about this have said that's not so bad, I've done worse, or there's more to love than sex, or just give it some time. What he said here a bit before was that, other than this, like, she's a good girl, like, they get along well. And yeah, I always do view like you should look at the present and how she's treating you, which is why I think this guy is struggling so much because he's having a great time with this girl. She's treating him well. She's obviously they have a good relationship, and he's not seeing any other red flags except for her past, and he just can't get past it. Now, if this girl was treating him badly in the present, then leaving her would be much more easier. But because she's treating him well, and during the time that they've known each other, she hasn't done anything bad towards him. He's finding it more difficult to leave. But this massive thing that's in the back of his mind is her in a foursome with three other guys, two other guys, and it's just eating him up. And this is a girl, what you got to imagine, in a white purity dress, walking down the aisle, and that's what's in your head. These 50 other guys who might be at the wedding as well, watching you get married to this girl. It's not a nice thought. Let's see if this guy can get over it. But if it's eating him up, then I don't think he can ever move past it. At least she's being truthful and honest about it. A lot of girls would hide their past and make sure their husband never find out, which isn't nice. You should be open and honest with your partner, no matter how difficult the truth is. The girl has proven that she's serious about me. We spend every night together, and when we're apart, she's constantly texting me. So she has a high attraction to him. so that's good. She trusts me completely and never bothers me about my past because she's probably, you know, she probably is a bit self conscious about her past, so she doesn't want to talk about the past. And she probably knows you don't sleep around as much. She gets that vibe from you, so she's not too worried. She's never given me any reason to doubt her or to not trust her. She just says she was never really interested in a relationship when she was younger and that she was good at separating feelings from just having fun. Now, I think that needs to be looked into a bit. Like, why did she have this disjointed nature from men and that physical intimacy? Because usually, as a guy and as a girl, you sleep with someone, you create that bond with someone. But to know she never created that bond with a guy after sleeping with them is a bit of a red flag. Like, she just saw him as something physical and someone to use for a night. That's a bit concerning. Like, why was this so disjointed? Why did she not form these bonds with these guys? Maybe it's something to do with her past. Maybe it's something to do with her childhood. I don't know what her situation's like with her father. But that's a bit of a red flag there. How, because women do, after they have sex with a guy, the endorphins. She really creates a bond with that guy, and she feels it, and she comes closer to that guy. And to know she just threw these guys away and didn't feel anything for it, bit concerning. She's only ever really been in one other serious relationship, as in she's only ever taken one other guy home to meet her parents. Only ever said I love you to one guy beside me. I'd probably look into who this guy was and try and understand why that broke up. Might help you get some answers. Whereas this is my fourth serious relationship. So yeah, again, these guys' values don't align. This guy is a relationship guy, a serious relationship guy. He's looking towards a future with a girl. And this girl gives me the vibe that she just looks at the present. You need to find a girl who also values relationships and wants a relationship. I'm not against casual sex. I'm not religious. I believe in living life and exploring oneself. This guy keeps backtracking and trying to try and show oh yeah, I'm quite progressive in that. Bro, just be honest about how you feel about the situation. Stop trying to make sure you're getting validation from society. There's nothing wrong with having boundaries. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with what she's doing either. You can live the life how you want to live. You're adults. But if your values aren't aligned, you're not right for each other. Why does it matter the number of people if we all like sex and have been sexually active since we were teenagers? I think maybe I'm just jealous that I didn't get around as much as she did. Yes, a valid point. That's a possibility. Or I'm angry at the thought of people taking advantage of her or using her for sex even though it's consensual. How do you know she wasn't using them for sex? She says she enjoyed it. Then there's that dreaded feeling of running into her past flings. Yeah, that's very possible. And he actually put in brackets, that's happened once. So yeah, when you sleep with 50 guys and you're staying in the same area, you're going to bump into them. And she's probably bumped into them and hasn't told you. I enjoy my time with her. We live together now, so it's serious. Oof, okay. I don't want this to be one negative factor in our relationship. How can I get past this? Well, you can't force to get past this because it's just in your male nature to be protective of her and to feel disgust about it. You're going to feel disgust about 50 men lining up having sex with your partner, especially if it's your partner who you want to get married to. You won't be able to unshake that. No matter how well she treats you, it's going to eat away at you and you're never going to be fully happy. So it sounds like a big leap here, but I'd say be respectful and leave her. Don't call her any names. She sounds like she is a good girl, as in she's treating you well. It seems like you have a good connection, but I don't think you're going to get over this thought process of her past, which is why it's always a risky question to ask. It's a good question to ask, but once you know about her past, you just can't unshake it. And I know that's the same for the majority of men, even if they don't admit it. Now, are you going to find a girl who doesn't have a promiscuous past in this modern dating landscape? It's difficult because I think even the religious girls, um, they get around a bit when they're younger. So it's difficult to find that pure girl, so to speak. But I think you could find a girl who's certainly had less than 50 sexual partners, because I think that is a big, big number. I'm guessing this girl's very attractive, maybe. But even the most attractive girls sometimes don't sleep around a lot because guys are scared of them. So maybe she's average looking. She says she's changed and everything with me is different, and I believe her. Why does the past bother me so much? Well, you can't fully change that. How she acted is her true self. You can't just change. She slept with 50 guys, so that shows that she likes being promiscuous and having non-attached sex with multiple men. You can't just flip a coin or click your fingers, sorry, and just change. That is who she is. Now, she might change slightly of her approach now. Like, obviously, I think she just feels a bit lonely, and she's obviously getting towards 30, so she's thinking, oh, I might want to have kids, I want to settle down with a guy. But her past is still who she is. She likes to have sex with multiple men. She even said it was a fun time of her life. Again, doesn't make her a bad person, guys, but that's just who she is. And you know her past does make her the person she is, so it's up to you if you can get past that and you can accept her for her past and who she is. But other than her sexual past, she hasn't showed you any other red flags to why you should be concerned. She answered you honestly when you asked her a question about her past. You haven't said that you don't trust her. You haven't said that she speaks to you badly. You haven't said that she's still out partying, acting like a single person. So maybe she is a good girl for the future, but you just have to get over her past, which is a difficult thing to do. I'm not going to say to you, you have to get over it, man up. No, that's not the viewpoint I'm going to take. But yeah, that's all, guys. Cheers. See ya.